A year in the life of our travel writers. Over the past year, our members used the skills they learned to explore the world and follow their dreams of living the travel writer's life. We checked in with 8 members to find out where they traveled, the adventures they found along the way, and where their writing has been published and what they love most about the travel writer's life. Some started in their hometowns looking for local stories, a great way to start. Others traveled all over the United States chasing the great American stories. Some brought their family along to share the experiences and luxuries they could never afford on their own. And many traveled overseas to expand their international horizons. These 8 writers traveled to countless U.S. destinations, from big cities to charming small towns. They covered over 29 countries, including England, France, Italy, Germany, Argentina, Sweden, Holland, Switzerland, Belgium, Mexico, Panama, Canada, and Antarctica, just to name a few. Some were seeking adventures like fly fishing, hanging out with penguins, and speeding down the Autobahn. Others were looking for the world's best cuisine, from 5-course meals prepared by Michelin chefs to fish plucked fresh from a pristine river and smoked over an open flame. Some just wanted to relax on a beach, play a little golf, or spend the day at a luxurious spa. Some did all of these things and more. And they found success. Between them, this group of 8 writers has had well over 500 articles published in numerous publications around the globe. Here are their stories. Betsy Hill. Betsy's life has been a whirlwind for the last 12 months. She's traveled from the Bahamas and Barbados to Quebec, Florida, and Panama. It's been a year filled with memories, experiences, and stories that have found their way into both print and digital publications. She enjoyed feeding and petting sharks in Florida, relaxing on the waterfront, meeting local artists, and fine wining and dining while covering the Food and Wine Festival in Orlando. In Panama, she wandered through the ancient streets of Casco Viejo before venturing on to the lush mountain areas of Boquete, where she toured local coffee farms and celebrated her birthday watching the sun rise over the highest peak in Panama. Betsy landed a press trip to Quebec, Canada, where she was invited to cover the opening of the Holy Door at Notre Dame Cathedral. Just back from her first travel show in Florida, Betsy has some great trips planned out for the year ahead. She'll be returning to Barbados, exploring vineyards around Seattle, visiting North Carolina's Distillery Trail, and staying in Exuma to swim with pigs and feed grapes to iguanas. Tim Cotroneo. Tim has been on a quest to become a Caribbean travel writing expert and has already traveled to 17 different islands. He's flown over the island of St. Croix in a 4-seater plane piloted by an Australian rock star. He's played golf in Nevis on a course that sits on the edge of a volcano with vervet monkeys hanging from the trees. On the island of Anguilla, Tim and his wife stayed in a 5-bedroom oceanfront villa that was also the setting for a reality TV show. For a culinary article on the island of St. John, Tim enjoyed a 5-course meal prepared by a Michelin chef. Tim has written 4 Golf Vacation magazine cover stories. He's also written many feature articles on luxury travel, photography, expat entrepreneurs, and even cocktail recipes. And he's landed work for a company that writes travel guides and cruise reports too. With each trip, Tim loves the childlike thrill of arriving someplace new and saying, "Now here's a travel story waiting to be written." Joan Mead-Matsui. Joan opts for travel assignments near her home so she can be around for her kids. Since 2015, Joan has been a guest at more than 16 destinations in Pennsylvania and New York State and is absolutely enchanted with travel writing. She uses travel writing as an opportunity to combine her hobbies and interests with work. Joan has stayed at an upscale fishing lodge and fly fished with her friends and family in the Salmon River, been a glamping guest at an inn along the Delaware River, interviewed extraordinary chefs, and met up with Kenny G at Mount Airy Casino for a meet and greet, toured historic architecture and ruins, including the Eastern State Penitentiary, savored outrageously delicious meals, practiced yoga, and tried laser blast. Joan has had several stories published, and she's published her own travel website and blog too. She's consumed by travel and exploration and says, "I'm experiencing life one journey at a time." Connie Pearson. Who knew a grandmother of 12 from Alabama could go on Medicare and reinvent herself in the same year? Well, that's exactly what Connie did. After retiring from teaching elementary music, she started a new life of adventure, discovery, and fun as a travel writer. Connie has had 66 published articles. She's enjoyed the perks of over $5,000 worth of comped meals, hotel stays, and free admissions. Together with her husband, she's enjoyed an amazing week in the plantation country of Louisiana, 4 days at the King and Prince Resort on St. Simon's Island, and an invitation to participate in the Food Bloggers Summit in Orange Beach, Alabama, in conjunction with the World Food Championships, all at someone else's expense. They even got to judge in the first round of the dessert competition, a delicious assignment for sure. She has no plans to slow down, and why should she? Her favorite quote on travel is from Susan Sontag. "I haven't been everywhere yet, but it's on my list." Way to go, Connie. Penny Zibula. Penny has found great success in getting published, including regular columns for Miles Geek and New Bern Now. Her writing has brought her plenty of travel experiences. She and her husband Simon spent 4 glorious days in Girona, 2 days in Quebec City, and enjoyed 2 fam trips in Sweden, where she was interviewed for a Thai TV show. She also enjoyed a complimentary night at a beautiful hotel in Taormina, Sicily, a private tour in Naples, a small group tour in Rome, hotel discounts, passes to attractions, meals, and more. But Penny says it isn't just the upscale hotels and restaurants that make her travel writing life so rich. It's the up-close experiences and the extraordinary people that make my heart sing and my fingers fly over the keyboard. It is a privilege to be able to bring stories of our travel experiences in fascinating places with exceptional people to life through my words, she said. Jed Vaughn. This year was an amazing year for Jed as a travel writer, even though it's still early in his career. Jed's travel experiences included marlin fishing and golfing in Mexico, exploring lighthouses on the Straits of Juan de Fuca, and experiencing the French Quarter in New Orleans. Jed has this to say about his new life. Watching the writer's life materialize before my eyes has been an incredible experience, and to think that until about 3 years ago, I had never written anything in my life. What a journey. It's definitely attainable for anyone with the desire. Jed is looking forward to even more fantastic travel and writing experiences this year. Noreen Kampanik. If someone had told Noreen that in just over 2 years, she would be a travel writer with 170 published stories in 32 different publications, she would have never believed it. But storytelling has taken this former nurse to some incredible destinations, and mostly on someone else's dime. Over the last 12 months, Noreen has traveled to Hawaii, Vancouver, British Columbia, Alaska, the British Virgin Islands, Mexico, New Orleans, and Tucson, to name a few. But the highlight was her 4-generation family trip to Honolulu, which yielded her several stories. Noreen's travel plans for this year include trips to Japan, Thailand, the Virgin Islands, Cuba, and Mexico, and a few other U.S. destinations too, like Wyoming and New Mexico. Terri Marshall. Over the last 5 years, Terry's life has completely changed. She left behind her career as a tax accountant and is now traveling and writing full-time, with over 500 articles published in a variety of magazines. Last year, she traveled to 15 countries on 4 continents. She started her year with a trip to Antarctica, where she hung out with penguins, marveled at pods of orcas, and cruised through iceberg galleries in an almost otherworldly environment. Terri also drove on the Autobahn in Germany at speeds upwards of 120 miles per hour, and sampled as much cheese as she could find in Holland, and visited the equator in Ecuador. Terri's favorite quote is, "Once a year, go someplace you've never been before." She's taken that advice to the extreme, and she has no plans for stopping. Yes, it's been an amazing year for these travel writers. Where will they go next year and beyond? The possibilities are endless. Where will you go?